What's up everyone? Welcome back to Just Finish Coding. This is part 6 of our Mastermind series on Scratch 3. So let's get coding.
Just finished coding.
Now quick interjection here, if you've not watched parts 1 to 5, please watch them before you come here because we're picking up from where we left off and you'll be very lost. I'll leave a card for you right here. Please watch the videos and then come right back. If you're still here, I'm going to assume that you've watched parts 1 to 5. Then let's get on with our evaluation sprite. So now I'm going to click on evaluations, and as you can see within our red evaluate, this thing evaluated how many reds we need. But if we just do this, then it's going to be really difficult to actually evaluate our white evaluation, so to put it. So what you need to do is, this is fine, but we need to delete all the items which essentially already switch the costume to red. Otherwise, everything that's red is also going to switch to white, and that's going to mess up our code very much. So what you can do now is to head over to variables and grab two replaces. Okay, so replace, and I'll actually duplicate this, so I'll just keep it here. I'm going to zoom out once, and yep, there we go. So now I'm going to say replace item C of clone correct move with a space, and I will also replace item C of move with a space. So this is literally just going to make sure that those two are spaces, and this really won't interfere within this repeat loop because we're going to change C by 1 right after that, and it's just going to increment, so we'll never come across that list again. So after this repeat loop finishes, what we can do here is to have an additional setup. So I'm going to say set C to be 1, and now I'm going to say repeat until. So this is a bit different from our earlier loop, but just hold on. So repeat until C is greater than the length of the clone correct move list. So this is literally going to go on, and we are going to keep deleting spaces which are in either of those two lists until we're basically more than the list, in which case there's no more items to check. So what you can do here is to say if, okay, and just add in an if. So if item C of move, so item C of move, so I'm going to duplicate the C and put it right here, so move, and I'll actually change this to be move, but either way it's going to result in the same thing. So repeat until this is the case, and we're going to say if item C of move is equal to, and I'm going to just change this to be a space. Okay, and now within this I'm going to say delete not just item number C of move, but we'll also delete item C of clone correct move. So duplicate this once more, oops, put this here, and of clone correct move. Alright, perfect. This would be working if we want to delete everything, if we just add in a change C by 1. But there's actually a small problem, and the problem is when we delete an item, the next item automatically becomes that item. So if we change C by 1, we would essentially skip an item if this thing happens. So what you need to do is to remove all of this, and instead of an if, you need to put an if else, and this would fix up your code completely. So I'm going to put these two things within this, and if this is not happening, then we'll change C by 1, and you can throw out that if then, and right after this happens, I'm going to broadcast a message, and this time it's going to be called white evaluate. So new message, I'm going to call it white, oops, that was accidental uppercase, and yep, there we go. So this is pretty much going to be it, and now we can get into that message. So I'm going to scroll over to some fresh screen space because this is pretty filled up. Alright, I'm going to do it right here. So when I receive, let's zoom in once again. So when I receive, I'm going to start off with white evaluate. Yep, there we go. So here I'll be having another repeat loop. So first I'll be setting that C variable to be 1 again, and just to be clear, I could use a lot of variables, but I just think that we'll be saving some space if we reuse this variable over and over again. So I'm going to set C to be 1, and here I'm going to once again grab a repeat number of times loop, but instead of 10 I'm going to say repeat length of move, and you can find the length of move within like the variables tab within the list right below, and you can change that to be move. Okay, there we go. So repeat length of move, and each and every single time before I forget to do this, I'm going to change C by 1. Now our main if condition in this case is going to be if, now I can head over to the list once again, and you have to grab this block which says, this boolean block which says if clone correct move contains thing, and you can see if clone correct move contains, and now you can put in item, and you can change that to be a move, item C of move. So if this is the case, then we will have to replace it. And you may think, well, but what if those two have the same index, right? It would actually not be the red, because here we've evaluated our entire red evaluation, and because of that, because of this whole script, what's going to happen is our indexes are going to get messed up. So here, by definition, if we are even going through this condition, it means that we have not got a red within this script. So we'd be pretty safe assuming that this is a white. So I hope you understood what I meant, but anyway, let's get on with this. So if this is the case, then I'm actually going to duplicate this condition because it's pretty useful. I mean, it's pretty useful to just put in. I'm going to remove all of this code, but these two nested ifs are pretty useful, and I'm actually just going to keep this inner if and throw out that outer if. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put this right here. So if clone y is equal to move number and clone x equal current change, then these two mean that that particular element needs to be edited out. And I'm going to say switch costume, not particular element, that particular clone needs to be, we need to change its costume. So switch costume to white. And after this, it's very important we do two things. The first one is, we actually forgot to do this in the last tutorial in case you remember, is to change current change by 1. The next one is to delete this particular item, because imagine if you had 4 reds in a list, and okay, that's a little too bad of an example. Imagine you had one blue in the correct code. Now you could have the player who's guessing, or the code breaker, put in 2 blues in his answer. If we do not delete that item from clone correct move, what's going to happen is when it goes to the second blue, it's by default going to evaluate that once again to be true, because clone correct move will contain a blue within its list, and because of that we'll get an incorrect evaluation. So what you have to do is head over to variables, and you want to grab a delete, and you can start off by just assuming that we have to delete something from clone correct move, but we need to find out which item number we have to delete. Now in most cases we'd have to run a simple forever loop, or not forever loop, a simple repeat loop, but Scratch actually comes up with a pretty neat function. So you can grab this item number of thing in clone correct move to find out the item number, and within this you can put in item C of move, and this is going to find out this particular item number within clone correct move and then delete it. And this is pretty useful. So this is pretty much all we need within this white evaluate to just evaluate it. But now I'm going to add an additional if else, and I'll be checking first if the move is equal to 10. So if move number is equal to 10, then what this is going to mean is that, well, we have already finished the game and the game should be over. And if we are just returning whites, now then it means that the player has lost. So I'm going to head over to events and say broadcast, player loses. So new message, player loses. And if this is not the case, then I will be broadcasting another message. So new message, and this is going to be called bring back checker. Okay, don't worry too much about the name. I'll explain what this does. Okay, based on that message, you probably realize that we have to do something in the checker, and you'd be 100% correct. So I'm going to scroll below here, and I'm going to say when I receive bring back checker, then, and our functions are going to make it very easy at this point. I'm first going to reset move. So basically, clean up the move list. Then last I'll be doing that setup function once again. But between these two, I'm going to first set move, not move number, set can make move to be yes once again. And I will also change the move number by 1. So change move number by 1, and that's it. So now by default, whenever we click the checker once again, it would go on to the second move. So now I'm going to click go, and I'm going to enter in some random code. I'll just change this by 1. Okay, there we go. And let's just say I enter in 4 reds. Boom, I'm going to get 3 3 red evaluations. But now you can see that everything's set back up. So now if I want to guess it, I can just, click checker once again, and you can see that we have 4 reds. Now obviously we'd want it to go to the end screen now, but the end screen isn't set up yet, so it just broadcasted a player wins. So we'll be doing a little bit of the end screen now itself. Okay, I just had some trouble with my computer there, and anyway, now we're back. So now I'm going to click on upload sprite from choose a sprite, and I'm going to upload the end screen from the after game folder within all your files. So you can click on endscreen.svg, and this would cover up everything but our code. I'm not going to be coding in the end screen for now, but I'm just going to say when I receive show move enter, then I will hide. And that's it I'll be doing in this video. And in case you want to test this out for your white evaluation, you can click on something like this, just put in some code, and here you can try out different sequences, and I'm going to put the blue here instead, and you can see that these two are interchanged, so we have 2 whites and we have 2 reds because these 2 reds are perfectly placed. And like I said, I'll be ending this video right here, and in the next video I'll be finishing up with the end screen, and we'll have everything in our mastermind game set up. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a like, and also don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.